Thank you. So we were asked to sum up 20 years, 3 takeaways, 20 years of Afghanistan, and that's pretty impossible to do. I think most of you have studied history and know that the world has been playing chess in Afghanistan for thousands of years. Everybody has been trying to take control over those lands, and it's pretty difficult to summarize in 7 minutes. Peter tried. It wasn't possible. And that was just 40 years. And so it's a complicated place. It's a really complicated land. It's a mystical land. It's a rich in culture, rich in people, rich in beauty. And that is one of the takeaways I think that I want to mention, is that we are more than war. And that is always the conversation when we talk about Afghanistan. We are just more than war. We have some of the most mystical religions in the world come from those lands. Zoroastrianism, some of the oldest Buddhist statues, 5,000-year-old Buddhist statues are in Afghanistan. Hinduism, like, it is mystical, it is beautiful, it is rich, it is deep. We are deeply connected to our land. And when you talk to an Afghan, we will always be proud of our land. I've never even been there, and this is the biggest heartbreak I've ever experienced. Sorry, it's a lot. So my call out to the diaspora at this time is you hear the way people talk about us and the way we are numbers. We're 3.8 million, 2.5 million. We're percentages. We're just know that your culture and who you are is important too, and those narratives should be talked about, and there should be more Afghan representation in these conversations. We are not a monolith. We are a diverse group with multiple tribes, multiple experiences, multiple religions, multiple beliefs. I just want my diaspora to know that, and to know that we can keep showing up and we can keep fighting. And this isn't over. This war is not over. The US is still presently in Afghanistan. They have their mercenaries present. They have their contractors present that are extracting our minerals, that are protecting the poppy fields to support their billion-dollar opium industries. They are very, very present still. I also want to talk about the way that the US has, Peter covered it a little bit, about how the US created the Taliban ultimately. They funded the Mujahideen to fight the Taraki government, which was also a very violent government. They were forcing Western communism violently across Afghanistan, which is a big part of why my family fled. And the Mujahideen was present because they were trying to fight that colonization in another extreme way against them. We talked about how the Taliban was created essentially in these madrasas in the refugee camps in the southern border of Pakistan and Afghanistan. The books that they were reading were printed in the United States, in Nebraska. The US had a hand in creating the Taliban. The US still funds the Taliban through Pakistan. You can go to the CIA's website. It shows that it says on their site that they give $4 billion a year to Pakistan as a grant for defense. Pakistan funds the ISI funds the Taliban. The Taliban keeps Afghanistan in a state of chaos, and the US can always go in and extract whatever they need. While the rest of us, we are the largest diaspora in the world, one of the largest. We are all over the world. We literally have been blown across the world the last 40 years. Not to mention the 2.5 million people who died in the first war. And then we're seeing maybe 750,000 that have died. We don't know that number. Afghanistan is very tribal. It is we don't even know how many people exist in Afghanistan. If people that live in the mountains, the people that live in the tribes. There are so many people in Afghanistan. There is no way, there's no census to be able to create these data points and these numbers to summarize our existence. Sorry, I'm very emotional right now. I felt the emotion and the passion from all of you, and I loved it, and it's beautiful, and I'm grateful that you all have that. Some of the priorities we need for change, we need the US to stop funding Pakistan. We need this to stop. We need them to stop funding the Taliban. We need to pay attention to the fact that this is a very part of the reason the US wanted and control of Afghanistan is the location of where Afghanistan is. It is in the center, it is the heart of Asia. SWANA, Southwest Asia, North Africa, is a decolonial term for the Middle East. SWANA, Central Asia, and South Asia all claim Afghanistan as theirs. We are the heart of Asia. Afghanistan is in the center. You have Iran, you have Russia, you have China, you have India, all surrounding it. The US has a base now that gets to watch all of these countries that it is always fighting with, always in conflict with. They are right there. We need to remember that this war was not to save the damsel in distress. That was an easy way to feed this to the patriarchal societies that eat it up. We need to remember that. It was never about the people. It was never about finding Osama bin Laden. It was always about the geopolitical position and extracting and taking the resources. That's all I have right now.